Hello everybody, my name is Aiden Miles, and well, I meant to get this video out and done like 3 days ago, but I didn't because I got sidetracked. I've been doing other things, I've been busy, but you know, I've actually been pretty consistent with uploads this week, surprisingly, so you know what? Let's keep that consistency going. Now, as a note, this video will be a two-parter. There will be another part coming out to it soon. Don't know when, don't know where. Probably some point within the next week. I don't know, so stay tuned for that. But this is just the first part of the two-parter video that we're sort of discussing today. If you're wondering why there's gameplay in the background again, it's just generally to keep people's interest in shit. Like, when I did it, the update video, people, like, compared me to, like, Leafy, telling that I'm the new Leafy. I'm not, because I don't bully kids. I was actually bullied, so, you know, that's how it works. If you're wondering what gameplay, it's probably just like me playing Brass Beast Heavy on MVM, so you know, that should be interesting. Anyway, so the video topic that I just generally want to talk about is that it relates to a bit of news that came out on Sunday. This weekend just gone was BronyCon, and it was announced that BronyCon will be closing its doors after 7 years. With its final convention being August 1st to 4th, which is 4 days in 2019. Now, this is really disheartening to a lot of people. It's disheartening to me, because when I was older, I really wanted to go to somewhere like BronyCon, but obviously now I can't, because it's closing its doors. So, I generally want to discuss, because a lot of people have actually been blaming the fact that BronyCon is closing because of Generation 5. Now, this is why this video is going to be a two-parter. One, the first part is why I believe BronyCon and conventions nowadays are just generally closing down, and the second part will be about Generation 5 killing off bronies and everything. So this is what I want to talk about, and this is part one. So if it is a long video, I apologize in advance, but I'll try and make it as short as possible. But there's a lot that I need to say in a short amount of time. So well, without further ado, let's get in. So let's start off the bat. Is Generation 5 actually killing brony conventions? In my opinion, yes and no. And this is sort of ties into the second part, which I'll get more into, you know, in a little minute, because, you know, that's the whole point of that. Well, the second part when that comes out, whatever. So has Generation 5 killed conventions? No, it hasn't, but a lot of people are speculating that, because since the announcement of Generation 5, 3 conventions before BronyCon's closure, and these are, I can't remember what names they are, but they are bigger conventions in America, have closed down due to BronyCon's closure, and it's mainly conventions in America that are closing down. Conventions everywhere else have been relatively fine, like Japan PonyCon, that's been fine. I know PonyCon, whatever, where's that? That's in Shanghai, I think. That's doing fine. GalaCon, I think, had its biggest year ever this year, which is doing fine. And obviously you got UK PonyCon coming up in October. They've been doing fine. It's mainly conventions in America that's been shutting down, and obviously most bronies are American, so that obviously you'd see that. So here's the issue that people are saying: has Generation 5 killed conventions? No, I don't personally believe. Personally, I believe it's the fandom itself and multiple other factors that I'll get into. One, Generation 5 in, like, the fan base. A lot of people have jumped ship because of it. Yet again, I just want to briefly touch upon this, because, obviously this is the whole topic for the second part. A lot of people have jumped ship because of Generation 5. They've heard the announcement of it, and they're just a bit like, oh no! They're rebooting the series! Get out of here now! And be safe, remember MLP for what it is. We remember it, because it was Generation 4 and about pitchy ponies. Just have friendship and fun. But yeah, that's fine, but we know that's probably going to be the premise for Generation 5 as well. Yet again, we're only briefly touching upon this. I've been seeing a lot of people leave the fanbase because of Generation 5's announcement, and that's okay, fine. My question is, why would you do that? It's just a series reboot. You're thinking that Generation 4 isn't going to have a massive cult following. after Generation 5 starts. An example I'm going to use is that the original Teen Titans Go has an amazing cult following, and Teen Titans Go happened, and barely anyone jumped ship from that fan base. And I know you could say it's different demographics and everything, but keep in mind, at the end of the day, MLB is a kids show, and sometimes things have to change. By the time Generation 5 has been around, we would have had Generation 4 for 10 freaking years, so that's insane to think. Now, that's generally what I believe. I believe it's because people are leaving the fan base because of Generation 5 announcements. That is sort of killing conventions, because I think BronyCon's attendance this year, I'm not 100% sure on this, was actually lower than previous years, and that actually correlates to what I've been seeing online. The fandom hasn't actually been on its peak. I've been seeing it actually dip, in a matter of fact. It's been dipping in its popularity, for the lack of a better word. Now, this is just going off of what I'm seeing and what I've seen from experience. I don't know. The fan base could be forever, growing. It could be, humongous, right now. But here's what I've been seeing. The peak of the fan base, in my opinion, was at the end of Generation 4. And it, I believe, started to dip near to about the beginning of Season 6. There was a lot of hype between, obviously, Season 4 and everything. Rainbow Rocks is brilliant. Season 4 is my favourite season. But in terms of everything, the fan base has been dipping. From what I'm seeing, the fan base has really been dipping in popularity. Yet again, let's get this discussion going in the comments. Talk about in the comments what you guys think. But I honestly think the fan base, its popularity has been dipping, sort of. Haven't been seeing that many bronies around. For example, I know there was a furry convention the same weekend of MCM London, so quite a few bronies would have gone to that. But I went to MCM London. I'm pretty sure I was the only brony there that I actually saw. Obviously, not many people will wear MLP merchandise of their brony. I did. Some people came up to me and said, cool, respect for it, respectful. So I did meet some people that obviously knew of MLP, but obviously as it stood, there weren't a lot of bronies there, which surprised me. And I doubt there'll be that many people there in the October one, because the weekend before, the October one, it's UK PonyCon, so people are going to be relaxing from that. But as I was saying, you've got to also take into account that conventions cost a lot of freaking money to hold. I'm going to use the furry fan base as an example. Furry conventions are some of the biggest conventions in the world, like Midwest Fur Fest, Confuzzled, AmproCon, but they still rarely turn a profit, because hiring out these convention centers, getting all these people in, getting all these guests in, cost a lot. But the benefit with furry fan base is that they don't have that many community guests they have to get in. With MLP fan base, you have to pay one for all your community guests. If you want to get any voice actors in, as any show guests, one, you have to pay for them as well. So you've got to keep in mind that these conventions cost a lot of money to hold. They rarely turn over a profit, and it's obviously surprising that obviously some conventions have been going for years, like BronyCon, 7 freaking years, and that is honestly brilliant. That is humongous. But some, obviously, AmproCon, again, has been going for years. But the thing is, some conventions cost more than other conventions, and obviously, if a convention gets more and more popular, the place where the convention center obviously runs, for all you know, they could just be raising prices to get more people in, which means people at the convention have to raise ticket prices so they can actually afford, pay off what they need to pay off. But you'll rarely see a convention turn over a profit. So that's the thing you've got to be keeping in mind out. Money is also a factor into this. But in my opinion, the reason why conventions are closing down is that it's the fandom is losing popularity, in my opinion. This is what I've seen. The fan base isn't exactly where it was, and I think that's why conventions are shutting down, because not many people are attending compared to previous years. So it all comes down to other things. Plus, you've obviously got to keep into account travel. Like, say for example, if I were to go to BronyCon, I would be travelling all the way from Baltimore, all the way from England to Baltimore, which is going to cost a lot, where realistically if I wanted to go to a convention like Galacon, it's only in Germany, that's a 3-hour flight away, where if I wanted to go to Baltimore, that would be about a 7-hour flight. So you've got to keep that in mind, and obviously it would be a lot cheaper to go to Germany. So people are going to take the cheaper alternative, so people are going to go to more local conventions. For example, Babs this year. Babs is huge, but that's because a lot of bronies are in San Francisco. So it may come down to the fact that there's not a lot of bronies in Baltimore as well, so they can't get local attendance, so that means that's affecting their numbers. But obviously, yes, it is a huge convention and everything, and you've got to keep that into account. But anyway, that's just been what I personally believe. The fandom losing numbers is affecting convention numbers as well, because if the fandom loses numbers, not many people are going to want to come to conventions. Now, that's just generally what I think. If you guys want to, talk in the comments below what you guys think and you guys believe, that's completely fine by me. You guys go over and do that, you do that thing. Let's get a discussion. Let's get a discussion going in the comment section below what you guys personally believe. Anyway, my name has been Aid Miles, and I'll see you for part 2, where we discuss, is Generation 5 killing the Brony fanbase?